Welcome to Opinions Like A-Holes, everybody, your favorite pop culture podcast where we have opinions and most of them stink. My name is Michael Zampino. With me, as always, is Hilton Price.
So last night, I'm leaving Tulsa Ballet. We are in the middle of Tchaikovsky, The Man Behind the Music, which is a fantastic ballet, original ballet done by
a high school friend was there.
Artistic director. What were they?
Yeah.
They did not come say hello to me.
They didn't know you. They were my high school friend, not yours.
Oh, well, that explains it then. On my way home, I'm taking out a tripod for one of our videographers.
Correct.
Did not have their own tripod, so I brought the tripod from work, and I was bringing it home with me, and I had it slung over my shoulder, and as I left
like a stick and bindle situation.
Like a stick and bindle situation. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not the slightest bit confused by either of those words. Definitely not bindle. And as I'm walking to my car with it slung over my shoulder, bindle style, as you might say, I wondered to myself if anyone might try to grab it or to steal it from me, to sneak up behind me, and they didn't.
Stick and a bindle.
Yeah. Oh, no, Google clearly knows what you're talking about. Yeah, for sure. You know who might else?
Oh, yeah.
Our guest might know. He is a learned man.
That's correct. Please welcome back to the show, Rick Maranon, everybody.
Hello.
You know him, you love him from Fox 23.
Yeah, reporter and anchor, weekend anchor now since the last time we saw you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't seen you since before COVID.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
COVID plague survivor, Rick Maranon.
Now, when you hear stick and a bindle, did you know what I was referring to?
I had a feeling it was, what was it? I think my mom calls it a hobo sack or something.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Stick and a bindle.
Yes.
When you put all of your worldly belongings into a bandana and then tie it to a stick.
Yeah.
And balance it as you go down the road.
Yeah, and head on your way to your next adventure.
It's tricky. You got to not own a lot of stuff. You got to
have a bandana.
You have to own a bandana, and you also need to find a good sturdy stick.
Which I got to tell you, I feel like a good sturdy stick is not as readily available as it was when I was a young man.
Were you a getting hit with a switch kid?
No, I was just living near the forest kid.
Gotcha.
Lived in the woods of New Jersey.
We city boys now.
When I was coming up. Yeah, now I'm city folk. I haven't seen a stick in years.
There's a couple in my backyard. We still have some trees.
You know what I wondered?
For now.
I wondered, I don't want to derail this into just talking about you, Zampino.
I wonder
why you don't have a back porch that you sit out and smoke upon and look upon the world.
So it's actually been a thing we've had a lot of discussions about our lack of both front and back porch.
Yeah.
Our back porch is basically like a 2x2 slab of concrete that you step up on.
Your back
with zero awning.
Your back porch is where I would smoke cigarettes at house parties in my 20s.
My back porch is not a back porch. It is steps.
Yeah.
That's it. There are like 4 concrete steps going up. That's my back porch. The front porch is the slab, the aforementioned slab. When I did smoke cigarettes, you could often find me at night standing on those couple of steps, leaning against the little railing, just chain smoking cigarettes at the end of the night.
I don't know. I was pretty impressed with the cock you have in your front yard.
Oh, thank you. It's a very colorful cock, yes.
Yeah.
There's a couple, actually. There's a big one and a small one.
Well, it's good to... The trick is to have a couple different sizes because you might have different needs for your cocks.
Absolutely. No one... People who say that there are only people who like big ones.
Yeah. Oh, that is way wrong.
So silly.
Yeah.
It's just so silly and short-sighted.
Yeah, and we're not saying that...
Pun intended.
And I don't say that just to defend my own station in life. No,
I do.
Okay, good.
I am only defending myself.
Okay. Well, I'm defending you too, buddy.
Thank you.
But the cocks on your lawn are fantastic.
No, we have had discussions about attempting to
porch it up.
Yeah, like actually build out a real one. The problem is, you have to give people money to do that.
Yeah,
or you have to know how to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
No.
And I don't want to pay for it.
No.
And I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, so it fell the second I quit smoking cigarettes, it fell way down the totem pole of priorities. Yeah. Like it was near the bottom now.
But do you grill?
Sometimes, but my grill's just in the yard. I don't think I would need like the porch per se.
But you could have like a nice grilling area.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But if I were to do like a big concrete area, I think I would do it in the driveway and get a basketball goal. shoot some hoops.
Rick, you just got a new house kind of recently, didn't you?
I did. I'm now a Tulsan again.
Yay!
You were living outside.
Can you give us your exact address? I'm just kidding.
61st and Sheridan.
Oh, right on. Cool.
As
Shadow
opposed
Mountain?
to Prattville, yes.
Nice. My grandmother I grew up in, my grandmother lived in Shadow Mountain, so I spent a lot of time in Shadow Mountain.
we had to fight like hell to get in there.
Yeah.
We had been outbid on 3 other houses. And
bummer.
I was crying at one point.
Yeah?
Because the one I really wanted had a pool. This one has the garden. I'm okay with
Okay.
that. But
Garden is
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
When society
It's a nice
collapses,
neighborhood.
that garden will be useful. That
Yes.
Yes, I will eat my tulips.
yeah, exactly. They are surprisingly high in fiber.
We're going to have to replace these tulips with carrots.
Why did we grow flowers and not cabbage?
Ugh, cabbage.
I started following a prepper on TikTok last night.
Shit.
And there was something about the way that he was like, don't buy canned goods, don't buy your prepper kit from Costco or Sam's. He said buy wheat and beans in bulk. And he was talking about this, and I was like, fuck yeah, this guy knows what's going on. Follow. Never mind that I don't have the first clue what to do with wheat.
Oh, you don't know how to make bread from scratch?
Yeah, from total
Come on, man.
scratch.
Oh, you know what's creepy though? You don't have to pay full price for that stuff. You go on these estate sale websites around Tulsa, all these people who have listened to all these conservative talk show hosts and everything, they all prepped.
Oh, yeah.
And,
It's
like,
got
you can get
garage full of Alec Jones supplements.
Yes, and so now you're like, you go to these estate sales looking for like an antique, and you've got a whole room full of like Alex Jones Infowars stuff.
Yeah. You got
And then
just a bunch of oil to make the frogs straight again.
Yeah, just that bone broth.
Well, and then it's like you always hear a neighbor or two like, I had no idea they were into this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
man.
what were they thinking about us? We're
Yeah.
not exactly, in their political alley.
Dude, estate sales are so much fun. Going and getting that like glimpse into someone's life, because it's never normal. If it's not a prepper, they were way too into Santa Claus.
Yes.
Some shit
I don't
like
know.
that.
I'm looking back to my grandmother's estate sale, and I was like, it was pretty fucking normal.
Was
it? Yeah, she didn't really have a lot of weird shit. Like, she just she had an excessive amount of glassware. I will say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it the radioactive kind?
Oh.
Because there's some that were made with uranium. Like
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
my grandma had 3 of those things.
No shit.
And it was just in her china cabinet, and I was like,
Wild.
well, I guess I'll take this.
This might be cool someday. I did have a lot of it. I took like most of my grandfather's sort of like bar stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, especially I was still a heavy
When you were
drinker
drinking
at the
back
time.
then, yeah.
And I still kept a lot of it. I did get rid of 90% of anything alcohol related in my house. But I kept a lot of my grandfather's stuff.
That's one thing that I have been a little disappointed with after I gave up drinking was that I have some fun bar stuff that I enjoy using that I just don't use. I don't know. Maybe this is a weird thing, but I tend to like a different glass for something like, say, a glass of water versus a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So-
you can taste it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So, okay. So that is
Totally reasonable.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
So my weirdness is other stuff. But so I have a great pint glass collection. Because I was collecting pint glasses when I was a beer drinker.
Oh, I had a
Now
lot
that I
of
don't
shot
drink beer,
glasses.
I don't use any of it. And I get disappointed because I've got these great and all stuff that's way in my wheelhouse, Marvel themed and DC and Legend of Zelda and stuff that I want to use.
I don't know if you know this, but you could put like milk in there or water or like soda pop.
No, because the flavor thing's wrong for me.
Oh.
It's not right. So I don't know. So
I knew when I was going through all my stuff that I you know how I don't know if everybody's like this, but like there were moments after I quit drinking where I was like brief moments where I was like, maybe I didn't have a real problem. Maybe I overthought it, And then I realized I had 4 flasks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a problem. Who owns 4 flasks? And one of them was engraved.
But that's another thing too. That's like a flask is a neat item.
It is a neat item.
I wish it was more like
They're vintage.
I wish it was more common to take a nip of some orange soda.
Oh, let's do that. Let's bring back flasks, but not with booze in it.
Yeah.
They're like a pocket watch.
And what you do is you pull it out like while you're at a red light next to a cop. And you just take a big pull on it and then wait for them to pull you over and be like, here, have some.
Look at my tongue, bitch.
Want some Kool-Aid? Want some root beer? Yeah.
It's strawberry Kool-Aid, bitch. God, I wish I had the balls to call up.
Alcohol is this? Are you put to yourself?
Now I just want to call a cop a bitch. Just kidding.
Oh, man.
That would be. I wish I had the balls to do some shit like that.
Let's remember, though, don't fuck with cops.
No, they don't like it at all.
Don't.
They will fuck with you though, as we've established.
Oh, yeah. They'll tend to fuck
They love they love pulling little jokes. Like, hey, you have a warrant out, and then when you go, what? For what? And they go, I'm just kidding. Have a good night. Right? And then you go, hilarious.
When I was when I was in high school, a friend of the family, a guy named Larry Wilk, had a friend at my high school who was like the head security guard.
Okay.
So he played a prank on me one time. And the security guard showed up in class and was like, I need to speak with Mr. Price. And he pulls me into a little side room with the
Mr.
teacher.
Price?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever referred to you as Mr. Price. That sounds very...
Yeah, and wasn't I technically
Yes.
your manager? for a
Yeah, I
minute?
know.
A little respect would have been nice.
I think out of fear, I may have said, sir.
That sounds right. That was never needed.
And please continue to call me Mr. Scott.
And for the record, I was never a sir. That kind of authority.
I think you were a, hey,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
the hell.
Always the hell. Staff over there can still confirm I was indeed a the hell.
That's right.
But so the security guard pulls me in this little side office and he says, Mr. Price, and he starts telling me this stuff and he goes, we need to talk to you about your truancy. And I'm just panicking. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm always here. I try to be here. If I'm sick, it's legit. My mom calls in. And he's like, I just want you to know. And he gets in real close and he goes, Larry Wilkes says hi. And that's when I knew it was. That sounds terrible. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
That
now.
sounds like you were about to get murdered and Larry Wilkes is a mobster.
Right.
Like,
But I
Larry
realized-
Wilkes says hi. Bang!
And I realized, no, it's a prank from a surly old man. So I'm just like, oh, you SOB. Or I was like, haha, you whippersnapper. We were in class. But,
you old so-and-so.
yeah, exactly. Just shook my finger at him, But now I realize, like, that was just a dick move from all involved.
100.
Yeah, like, that's not cool. You made a little child shit his
Listen.
pants a little,
Listen, can I make an argument that it is objectively funny to everyone but you?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But when you're in the moment and it's you want no one to ever have to go through that.
No.
However, if that opportunity presents itself for you to do that to somebody else, if I would...
Well, that's where I'm going. There is a thing. We talk about how we don't like abuse of power, but all of us have abused a little bit of power
do it,
before.
yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I abuse my dad power all the time.
Right?
Yeah. I use it to scare the shit out of my kids all the time. It's really fun.
We're talking about, we mentioned when I was a manager over at Fox, I wasn't someone who I think anyone would consider someone abusive with his power, but were there times that I enjoyed a perk or two because of my station? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, whether it was just a longer break or being able to delegate something that I could have as easily done myself. These weren't things I always did. I did pride myself on trying to be
Sure.
an active and involved and good, useful manager.
Be a good boy.
But sometimes you're fucking tired, man.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's almost like a rite of passage because, you've had somebody do that to you.
Yeah.
So you're just like, this is my time.
Exactly.
I endured somebody else's bullshit to give out a little bullshit.
And there were still plenty of times where I
Down here, it's our time.
It's our time down here. Oh, that's a good scene. Mikey, you told him.
He sure did. Yeah, man. I think of that all the time. It's my turn. It's my turn to do the fun stuff. They had their turn. Now it's my turn to be fun.
Well, yeah, and again, it's also not don't be abusive with it. Like if
Sure.
if I've got moments where I've got someone helping me with something, then there better be times where I'm stepping in to help them. I mean, that's just give and take, and especially when you're in a position of power, when you're in charge, you need to lead by example.
Oh, sure. Let's be fair. If that cop would have said what he said to my friend Brian and not to me,
Yeah.
I would probably be telling that story all the time and be like, "This is the funniest cop I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah, and that cop sure as hell better be using that power and that privilege to help as many people as he can.
Doubtful, but
Tragically, we see too much of that. But,
yeah,
but
it's
hopefully-
highly
hopefully.
doubtful. Like, I got to give credit to the cop that kicked me out of Oktoberfest, the one who didn't just I threw some beer on someone, and yeah,
You were wondering. You're like, how does one get kicked out of Oktoberfest?
Yes.
I'm just gonna say
I'm like more.
they did deserve it. They did deserve it.
The beer laden person.
The beer laden person deserved to be laden with beer, but the cop didn't come grab me on the shoulder and go, "Hey, get the fuck out." We were like dancing on the tables, right? So he got on the table and waited for me to see him. That's objectively hilarious. That's so fucking funny. I cannot deny it. That you know what I mean? Like, he's just standing there waiting, and then when I finally see him, he goes, "Hey, so you like to throw beer on people?" And this is 100% true. I was like a deer in headlights. I had no fucking idea what to do. And I went, "Sometimes."
It is funny sometimes.
And he was like, "I think it's time to go." And I said, "Fair enough."
I will confess, I have never really enjoyed Oktoberfest because I've never been able to actually go. I have always
You're on business.
Yes, but the business wasn't always work. It was driving Uber.
Oh, God.
And they threw up in my car.
Nope.
I was like, I'm gonna make a couple extra bucks. They're all drunk.
Oh, man. I will openly admit that since I got sober, I am problematically impatient with overly drunk people, and I don't think that's a good thing for a former alcoholic. But
it's an unfortunate thing.
It is, and I feel bad.
It's hard to show the compassion that we should.
Exactly. I feel like I should be more compassionate, but I have very, very little patience for super drunk people.
I bring that up because the funny Oktoberfest story, the one Uber ride I did, these University of Tulsa kids just got drunk, probably a little high as well, and they all got in my car and they were sitting on each other's laps, and I was like, okay, well, they're going to pay me no matter what. We got to get them to the university. And this motto has been stuck in my head since before COVID. They were all like, "Yo, your name's Rick. Rick, what rhymes with Rick?" Dick. Oh, man. And it's the whole conversation of why don't you go by Dick? And then halfway home, and this motto will never leave my brain, they start going, "Who's got the big dick? It's Rick." And we're rolling down the window at the stop sign, and you talk about cops and stuff pulling up to everybody in Tulsa, and they're just like, "Yo, Rick's in here, and who's got the big dick? It's Rick." And I was just like, "Oh my God," because here I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm on the news," and they're gonna look over, and it's just like, there's
that's so funny. I didn't even think about that part. I was just thinking about, like, I would be so jazzed. I'd be like, "Hell yeah, it's me, my dick's big, it's me."
Hi, everybody, I'm Rick. You may have heard of me from the song.
It's like, hello.
You may have heard of me from having a big dick.
But that rhyme has never left my head.
That's
every time
so
I see
good.
a Uber or a Lyft sign on a car, I'm just
You
like,
got flashbacks.
"Who's got the big dick? It's Rick."
You have flashbacks to the greatest ride of your life.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That could have taken a turn, because I really started that out with a disappointment in those kids, because your college kids, and a basic rhyme scheme is what got you. Come on, guys, that is elementary, that is middle school level shit, but they rolled with it.
And they had a blast. And you know what? I hold it in my soul.
You had a hype crew for that ride.
We would be lying if we didn't say that no matter how old we are, we're always a sucker for a good rhyme.
Yeah.
It never goes away.
Yeah. Also, you don't get enough group of people like publicly chanting about the impressive size of.
I was going to say
genitalia.
it's very seldom that those rhymes are compliments.
Yeah. Real. I don't know where these kids are today, but I hope they're all right.
I remember rhymes more like "fatty fatty 2x4 can't fit through the bedroom door."
Well, sure.
You know, and those aren't as fun as Rick got the big dick.
I mean, let's credit where it's due. Still really well crafted.
Absolutely.
It hurts every time. You know.
Also, nothing really rhymes with Michael except for cycle.
Yeah.
So you got one thing. What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
Oh no, when I'm mad at my husband, I'll just shorten it up to Mike.
See, I hate that. My wife and I. I'm sure he does. My wife and I.
It's almost like I'm his parent and I'm giving him his full name. You know.
When Becky and I early on one time we were in the middle of an argument. And she called me Mike, and for some reason I hated it, and I went, "Don't fucking call me Mike!" And it completely diffused the argument because we both started laughing. And I
Do you
was
turn it around, or are you like Rebecca?
No, because it doesn't have the same. She doesn't mind it, so it's like it's fine. But she knows I hate being called Mike. So,
Man. Yeah. That's I don't have a nickname I don't like. People have defaulted to Hilty a lot over the years.
I will never call you that.
Less so
That's
as
the
an
tool
adult,
company.
but I still see it. Yeah, that's true. Is we do have another reference
Yes.
here in the Tulsa area, which actually a weird story. Someone I knew once suffered a family tragedy at a Hilty, which really sucked
In the Tulsa Metro.
sucked the energy out of that name for me for at least 6 months. But it's not a name I particularly like, and especially as an adult, it feels a little silly. You know. But occasionally, someone will still use it. I'm like, all right, yeah, I get it. It's fine. You know.
I don't know. I've always been impressed with your name. I think there's a regalness to it because of the hotels. But
That's what Mom was going for.
Okay.
Which considering most of the abstract poverty we've lived in most of the time, you know, I get it, Mom. She wanted a dream.
were you conceived at a Hilton?
I don't know that I was conceived at all. I was really more of the midi-chlorians came together and gave me life. At least
You mean the Thetans?
that's exactly what it is. Where's Shelley, David?
Where is Shelley?
I told you John Oliver did a Where's Shelley.
Yeah, he throws those in like every few episodes, and it's really great.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it's really great just to make sure that people don't forget that he's probably a murderer. I said probably. Calm down.
Yeah, probably. I'm winking a lot.
Oh my God.
So the whole thing about abusing power and how we might do it, I brought that up too because another thing that I do is I can be mocking without meaning to. And I was worried about it with one of the trailers we watched.
When you accidentally go,
that sounds exactly like me.
and then you go, oh shit, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
My bad. I meant I disagree. I don't know that you've really thought of
That is a really funny concept. Like just accidentally mocking someone.
mock people. No,
Yeah, that's what I said.
So we were looking for trailers for today, and I ran across this one from the Broken Lizard comedy crew, the guys that did Super Troopers and
Club Dread,
and Beer Fest,
and the Slammin' Salmon, I believe is the name of the other one they did.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
that sounds like a sex move you're not supposed to do.
It takes place at a restaurant.
It does not.
Called the Slammin' Salmon. And it's run by Michael Clark
Plays
Duncan.
in a private room between consenting adults.
It's real.
I know it's real, and it hurts, Mike. It hurts a lot.
Don't fucking call me Mike.
Oh man, Slammin' Salmon. Oh, man.
It actually was not bad. It's pretty funny.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. It is. It leaves a mark. I'm sorry. Okay.
Not the sex thing movie.
You know what's going to be creepy? Somebody listening to this, and we go to Lady Godiva's in a couple of months, and they're like, "That woman up there, that's the Slammin' Salmon."
They call her Sally the Slammin' Salmon.
Don't forget, everybody, we got daily specials. Now come to the stage. It's Slammin' Salmon.
Sally the Slammin' Salmon Salazar.
Salazar.
We got
I
a
was trying
whole
to go
new
with the-
meaning to
the
SeaWorld in here.
syllables.
the star of SeaWorld and Club Godiva. Lady Godiva. Is that what's it called? Is it Lady?
Yeah, Lady Godiva.
I think it's just called Godiva's now.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds like a chocolate
Yeah, it's just a
lawsuit.
chocolatier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's not even a strip club anymore.
I'm so much more concerned with chocolate than naked people.
It was really convenient when the chocolatier moved in. They didn't have to change the signage or anything.
Yeah. They just took the lady with the
Knocked
horse
the
off.
lady off. Actually, they didn't.
You can keep the horse.
They left her. They just put chocolates in her hands.
She's now on a chocolate horse.
Oh,
We have fun.
Yeah.
We watched trailers though.
so we watched the trailer for the new one from Broken Lizard called Quasi.
Quasi,
And it's a Hunchback of the Notre Dame, or the Hunchback of Notre Dame parody.
aka Quasimodo.
Quasimodo, exactly. And I thought, okay, this is going to be offensive. This is going to be the kind of thing that's meant to be funny, but is just kind of like ableist jokes the entire time. And then sure enough, the first ableist joke that popped up on screen, I laughed heartily. And I didn't mean to. And I mean, it does seem like it's funny. It does not really seem to be that kind of movie. It really
doesn't seem to be punching down.
No, it plays. It really plays off the establishment at the time.
Right.
It makes fun of the church. It makes fun of the king. It makes fun of the kingdom.
Right.
I don't know. I was immediately sold when I just saw the words Hulu original. Like that mean I'm like holy crap, this is gonna be better than anything I can see in most theaters at this point, because I've been thoroughly impressed with everything Hulu original lately. So.
Really? So Hulu's did the History of the World Part 2? Did you watch that?
Yes, but recently we just finished Chippendales.
Oh yeah, the Welcome to Chippendales
Yes,
with Kumail Nanjiani.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh my gosh,
Is
wonderful.
Is it about Chippendale?
The true story about the murder and the guy. the
Oh.
murder. You didn't know this?
No,
Oh
that's
yeah,
cool.
no. That's
What's
and,
crazy
yeah.
is there are 2 murders tied to the Chippendales story, and they kind of bookend the Chippendales story.
Yeah.
Because the first one is the murder of Dorothy Stratton,
Okay.
the Playboy playmate.
Okay.
Because the guy who murdered her was one of the early investors and,
Yeah.
and people involved with Chippendales.
He was pretty much the guy who was like, who wants a backgammon club? Like,
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
we want some, backside, kind of
Okay.
thing. So, yeah.
It's worth watching. It's really good.
yeah. And anything with Murray Bartlett in it, I'm just like, whew.
He's very good.
Oh, my gosh.
He's really good. The whole cast was good.
I didn't realize that Hulu had become known for quality. That's great to hear.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, they
keep in
put out
mind it's
some
like
good stuff.
Disney. It's pretty much Disney.
Oh,
so,
that's true. Yeah, it is just another arm of Disney at this
Yep,
point.
it is.
It's just like Fox is now. So yeah.
Yeah.
The Simpsons predicted it.
Simpsons
Fox.
called it.
Fox, a Disney corporation.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
It's so
But no,
crazy
I
how
just-
prophetic that show was.
If I see those 2 words, I'm like, I'm going to give it a chance.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and so I was just, I'm like, I'm really interested. And then maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just a Saturday morning, but I was like, you know what? For Quasimodo, this guy's kind of hot. I can see through the makeup.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, he was
yeah.
not a bad looking.
What's his name?
Hunchback.
Steve?
No,
Lemmy?
no, let me pull up the IMDb on that one.
He's the one that played Mac in Super Troopers.
Okay,
And I could definitely see
Steve Lemmy.
Steve Lemmy. Okay, cool. I called it.
Yeah, there you go. He ain't bad looking.
Yeah, and Kevin Heffernan. He's the one that
Heffernan.
played Farva, right?
Yes.
Heffernan.
Yes.
Yeah. He looks like he's going to be good in this too.
He's directing it.
Okay, he's starring in it too, though, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was, I think, one of like the religious leaders.
Oh, he was 2 people. He was Quasi's buddy, and he was the religious guy.
Okay, cool. And then Chandrika Shar, he's always good. He was really good in Super Troopers, so glad to see him having a prominent role in this.
Chandrasekhar.
You know what? I've never been my strength, Mike.
I understand. Don't fucking call me Mike. A hapless hunchback yearns for love. Why has he got to be hapless? But finds himself in the middle of a murderous feud between the Pope and the King of France.
He was
when
going to store his hap where the hunch is, so that's why he's hapless.
the King of France, when each orders. Wait, what?
You said why does he have to be hapless? I said because he was going to put it where the hunch is.
What's a hap?
I don't know. I am
That's
also,
where my brain immediately went. As I was like, wait, is that a thing that I don't know about?
I would tell you, unfortunately, I am also hapless.
Fair.
that
My
even
dumb brain got stuck on, what is a hap and how can one be without one? What is it in the first place? So the Pope and the King of France each order the hunchback to kill the other one. So apparently he's like a merc. He's a mercenary for hire.
Yeah, this is actually the sequel to Suicide Squad.
That's dope. I'm actually more on board now. Hopefully he kills the Pope first.
I mean,
or the King of France.
I don't know that I
6
have
of
a
1.
preference.
Yeah, 6 of 1.
You have to wonder what Victor Hugo's thinking about how all this is all taken off and whatnot. The original author of The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Right.
So, I wonder if there's like a relative somewhere who's just like, where's my royalties?
Yeah, right.
What
Where's
the
my
hell?
money?
Come on, Disney. This is like movie number 2.
I guess is the Hunchback's got to be in public domain,
Yeah.
right? It's got to be public domain at this point.
I would imagine.
Huh.
Well, yeah, Victor Hugo's been dead a while.
Let's look that up real quick.
Yeah, but that's the thing with stuff with public domain, especially if you have like your, if your estate's involved, a lot of times they can renew copyrights on their behalf.
Certain things can, yeah. Oh, wow, yeah.
Oh, it entered public domain in 51.
Yeah.
Oh.
No wonder. Because
Due to the claimant's failure to renew its copyright.
Oh, so
See,
now
yeah.
there's a Thanksgiving fight somewhere. Well, maybe if Grandma would have filed the right paperwork, Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So right now the Hugo family is just angry at their
Well, now
descendants.
this is actually the film.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We're talking about the film here.
Oh, there you go. Pete.
Oh, here's an interesting. Is Esmeralda public domain? The author died in 1865, so this work is in the public domain
Oh, okay.
in its country of origin, unless it's talking about a different Esmeralda.
I know it's spelled this way, but which poo is public domain? As we look on Google.
Weird. So Pooh, Piglet, Kangaroo, Owl, Eeyore, and Christopher Robin are all public domain.
Oh, shit.
What's
Let's
that?
go wild on some fucking Winnie the Pooh fanfic.
There's not enough Pooh fanfic. that's there's so much you could do with Eeyore.
Oh, yeah.
Oh hell, these could all be like marijuana gummy types.
Oh,
I got a good poo you can have.
I'll trade you 2 Kangas for a Roo.
Yeah, I got some real strong Kanga in the back.
Kanga is a sativa for sure.
Roo sounds like a shortened version of roofie, so I don't really like that in reference
Yeah.
to drugs.
Let's not do that. Also, Eeyore.
Now,
is
I will
definitely on
pop a couple
sedatives.
piglets.
Yeah.
He went all Christopher Robin in on that pipe.
He really Christopher Robin Williams himself.
So Pooh, Piglet, Kanga, Roo. Pooh, Piglet, Kanga, Owl, all weed. Roo is roofies. Eeyore is some kind of sedative, and Christopher Robin's meth. Right?
Oh, for sure.
That seems logical.
Something you'd use in a club.
Yes,
He's
yes,
totally
he is.
Christopher Robin right now.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's a euphemism for coming.
Yes.
Like Christopher Robin all
Everybody
over
is
her back.
drugs except for Christopher Robin.
Oh man, I Christopher Robin my pants.
Had this girl over last night. We did a Kanga, but then she rude.
Then I Christopher Robined on her back.
Oh.
Boy, that got gross. I apologize.
We have ruined Winnie the Pooh for people.
Quasi the Moto looks fun though.
It quasi looks good.
I said Quasi the Moto on accident. Anyway, that one looks fun. What was the other one we watched?
The other 2.
Yes, I know, but the one that's not the Tommy Wiseau one.
The Tommy Wiseau one.
What's the other? Oh yeah,
yeah.
God damn it! This I could not care less. I never got into the Power Rangers. I was too old. It was corny to me.
Yeah.
I remember my cousin liked it, and I was like, man, you like that corny ass Power Rangers shit? I'm still on Ninja Turtles, dog.
Ninja Turtles, I felt like I was too old for. So by the time Power Rangers, and I loved them still.
Yeah.
But I still felt like I was aging out of it. When Power Rangers came along, I was definitely aged out.
Yeah.
The only reason I remember any of it is because it was on like in that first half hour after high school, where I would get home in time and it would just be on. I was like, there ain't shit else on, you know? So this cast for this movie, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always, the original cast with like Amy Jo Johnson and Austin St. John, I remember those guys. So I was at least curious if
I
it
do
would
too, 'cause I
tickle that
hated them.
nostalgia. But this does not do anything.
I don't even. We're looking at the Rita Repulsa. I mean, she looks like a repurposed Terminator. she's not like Xena's pissed off sister anymore. She's a machine. It's like the original Rita died, but this is the love child she made with C-3PO that carries on her legacy.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
is the original Rita Repulsa still with us?
I'll check.
Because maybe this is their answer to not being able to have that actress's face.
Barbara Goodson. She
Yeah.
is still alive. Yeah, because I thought she just celebrated a birthday, but it was one of those things that I couldn't remember if we were celebrating a birthday or her passing.
Well,
so.
then did she also do,
Yeah, there she
do
is.
the... Okay, as she appears in the first season. So that is her playing
Okay,
the
but that's
part.
kind of like sexy evil. Like the whole face on the new one. There's no like sex appeal to it.
Well, she is older, so it could very well be that they didn't want to put her in makeup again, or she didn't want to be on
I don't know.
camera.
She looks good.
I agreed, but you know,
So she
Hollywood
probably
is a
just said
fickle
no.
bitch. Yeah, she may very well just said no.
You're
Nah.
typecasting me.
Well, let's
She was like,
pull
you
it
can
up
use
there.
a stunt person and put a mask on him.
Oh, do I not?
I don't know. Doesn't she kind of like yeah when she's like talking? Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe she doesn't have the throat anymore. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she is set to reprise her role as
Oh.
Rita in the 30th anniversary Power Rangers special, which I'm pretty sure is what this is talking about.
So maybe they do show her face
Oh,
and she
it's
just
like-
puts a mask on for the fighting parts because she was not going to do the fighting parts.
It's like Independence Day. You got to take the face off to see the real face of the alien. So.
But even the cast that we did get, all the kids now grown up, the dialogue was very cheesy and hokey. And
yeah.
Oh, man. There was like 5 seconds in and I was like, nope, don't care. Bye-bye.
I am more interested to still go back and watch the 2017 remake movie.
It wasn't
Nah.
bad.
With Elizabeth, right?
Wasn't bad.
That at least, I love stuff like this. I love lore like this. Like the idea of this like superhero group of teens and the magic guy that gets them all together, the floating head or whatever, Zordon. And I like that that's a thing that had longevity enough to be remade.
Have you seen Shazam?
No.
If you like empowering kids, I am so
No, I
gra-
hate children. There's two good kids. There's two children in this world I like. They live in this house. That's it. That's where I draw the line.
Like we were foster parents at the time. We were given it a test, and the kids in Shazam are foster kids.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And they're empowered to save the world. And I was like, this is the most beautiful storyline. And this kid was having such a terrible time at school and getting picked on. And you know, kids can be dicks. And
Yeah.
they were saying like, oh, you're a foster kid. You know, nobody wants you and loves you. And we take them to go see Shazam. Mm-hmm. And just that message of he can do it, like we went in for family video night or movie night, and we came out and we're like, holy crap, this kid just got empowered to do some good.
Well,
Like,
good.
Yeah,
That's good though.
and it's still like a good superhero.
Yeah.
And it's still got the comedy to it too. Like I'm still thankful for the message that sent. It wasn't like, you know, I felt like the Power Rangers were upper echelon, kind of like, oh yeah, we're the cool kids, and all of a sudden, you know, we got these powers. Like here's Shazam, and it's just like
Yeah, these fucking rich kids.
yeah.
Yeah. They're going to
Got more cool stuff.
some Southern California high school.
Yeah.
It's not
Shitheads.
Okay. It's
I don't know if you guys know this, but most dissemble Rita by her 2 pointed hair cones, but one may also recognize her by her screeching voice, Madonna-like cone bra, and obnoxious attitude.
that attitude for me is really what nails Rita
She's
Repulsa.
got that bad too, dude.
That bad. It's not Repulsa. She Repulsa because of the tude.
Yeah, she's got a
Yeah.
repulsive tude.
But anyway,
Dudes with bad tudes.
I don't plan to watch this.
No, fuck no. I could not. No, hell no.
I was also not in the slightest interested in our third trailer, the new movie from Tommy Wiseau,
Oh, I am.
until the change, not even the change at the end, which was weird enough, also had my interest. But what was weird was the shark that shows up after the minute and a half of
Now,
boxing.
did we pull up the site, the Big Shark movie?
Not yet.
Let's do that because there's still part of me that thinks that this isn't an actual movie. Part of me thinks that this is a trailer he made.
Be careful. Don't type in Big Shark movie.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah.
Which, with my failing vision, there was a chance.
So it just takes you to TommyWiseau.com. Look at that picture. He looks like David Koresh. That's insane.
It looks like David Koresh and Eddie Van Halen had a kid.
So yeah, I think that I'm right that this is not a movie. It was just an advertisement to get you to his site.
So the Big Shark movie, it's
Might not be a movie.
It's
Probably not a movie.
okay. The only thing that we have to say that is the website that doesn't talk about the movie at all.
Right. I'm just saying my gut tells me that this is not a real movie.
At all. There is nothing about the movie.
Correct.
Oh, it doesn't even go to bigsharkmovie.com. It automatically
That's what I'm saying.
redirects
It
to Tommy
redirected
Wiseau.
Nothing about a
that.
shark on here.
That's
I mean,
what-
there's some nice cleavage in this photo here of a sweatshirt. But
Well, I like how it zooms in a little. That's neat. Oh, that one zoomed in a little
Oh,
too. Everyone's
hey-oh.
everyone's doing well on this website. Congrats to everyone on this site. So the movie it's got a lot of like the words on the screen acting like something big is going to happen, but
And then the words are same font as the room, so to pull you in.
the visual is two guys in a boxing ring after a guy says, "I'm the referee, start fighting," or
He
whatever.
says, "I'm the referee. Who's ready for a fight?"
Yeah.
Because that's how boxing works. Is first, someone establishes themselves as the referee. Okay, I'm the referee.
Never mind, he was already dressed like a referee.
Correct. But a lot of people can show up dressed like the referee, but the first one to get in the ring and say, "I am the referee," gets to be the referee.
Literally
That's how the rules, that's how the WBC, WBO, that's how they all do it.
WEB.
That's right.
So and then it's
My favorite thing is the names of the two boxers is just a straight Tommy classic because their names are, "What's your name?" He goes, "What's your name?" "Johnny." "What's your name?" "Tony." Just classic
I was
American
expecting one to be like
names.
the Big Shark.
yeah, the
They
shark.
call me the Big Shark.
But no, they fight for like 30
That's
seconds.
also how boxing works is you get into the ring and nobody knows who you are. And they just go, "What's your name? What's your name? All right, fight." "What's your name?" "Mike Tyson." "What's your name?" "Buster Douglas." "All right, go."
That is how that went. That is how that went. And then all of a sudden, there's a shark chasing men down the street.
I don't know. It was New Orleans. I kind of was expecting some when the Saints go marching in. He was looking for some beads or something.
Yeah, no.
How dare you question how well Tommy Wiseau knows New Orleans culture? He is born and raised in
You
Louisiana.
can tell from his accent.
Yeah, that shark isn't out to eat anyone. He just wants to, get some beads and
See some tits.
yeah.
He's like, "I'm just trying to see some tits."
He's opening his mouth not to eat you, but take it off.
Yeah, he's just horny. He's just trying to motorboat. BigHornySharkMovie.com.
Yes, that's what makes the shark big.
Yeah.
It's not that. Here's the thing: a lot of people take for granted. It's not that you want a longer shark. It's that you want to. Never mind.
The shark was like Birdemic level CGI.
Yeah,
If you don't know about Birdemic, just go look up a couple of clips of Birdemic and the CGI in Birdemic, and it is next level terrible. Like had to cost like $5 on fucking Microsoft Paint or some shit. Like it's so gnarly.
I'm going to play this trailer while we talk.
Oh yeah, do that.
But the thing that got me, I turned my sound off.
Oh good.
The Big Shark trailer then is after it's established that this is a movie named Big Shark,
Allegedly.
that the Big Shark trailer ends, but the video is not over. Because then a black and white boxer shorts commercial begins, or not boxer brief? Are they briefs? Are they
No,
boxers?
they're boxers.
They're boxers, but they
Boxer briefs.
Yeah.
boxer briefs. But they have that kind of top. The elastic has got embroidery on it.
Yeah,
with the
the-
name Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, much the way like a Calvin Klein would have.
Yeah, or Fruit of the Loom.
or Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah.
Or Hanes.
Exactly. Yeah, really. At some point, we decided that any name was fine for the top of our underwear.
Hey, I'm expecting Sam's Choice. Now,
Yeah,
I'd wear that.
Costco.
Yes.
Yeah. Amazon Select. What is the Amazon suggests?
Amazon Basics.
Amazon Basics.
When you're a basic bitch. Oh God, this trailer.
So there has been no birds in the Birdemic trailer.
Oh, that's the thing about Birdemic is like you don't get to it for a real hot minute. The first part is just a really sweet story about an actress and a businessman,
but
master of the romantic thriller, James Nguyen.
So the boxer briefs ad features a woman and then Tommy Wiseau wearing a very obvious blonde wig
And John Lennon glasses.
and John Lennon glasses saying "Love is forever." Is that what he says?
No, he says, "Love is blind."
"Love is blind." Exactly. Oh, here
And
come
then
the birds.
Yep. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
I-
I forgot about how good this trailer is.
Yeah. And then they run out with the clothes hangers. Oh God,
The swooping bird
it's
CGI.
so good.
That is amazing.
Oh, but let's remember we got to stop and have a sex break, and then we can get back to fighting the birds.
Well, here's the thing, Rick. Fighting off the birds, you work up quite a sexual
The
appetite.
problem with this movie is
The birds aren't moving while they're flapping. That's the problem with the movie.
The problem with the movie also is that there was not nearly enough sex for the acting to be that bad.
Yes.
Like, if the acting is that bad, there better be a lot of fucking to distract us from how bad it is.
That is the porn to story ratio. That is a
Correct.
golden ratio.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you know
that's-
that you have to make up for the lack of acting talent with more fucking.
That is a deal.
But yeah, that's the level of CGI we were talking about with that shark. But yeah, then we go to Tommy's commercial where you have him saying, "Love's blind."
Love is blind.
And then it cuts to the girl saying something, and they obviously just shot the audio of the room that she was in. She was not mic'd personally, because it cuts from, like, you know, quiet to and then whatever she says, just so much room noise.
I feel like that part maybe we should watch that.
Yeah. Let's do that so we can hear it.
Let's just play that.
Now, are these the same dudes wearing the underwear that were boxing? And that's
Oh.
and he
Real
saved
question.
money.
Solid question.
I'm
We
gonna
might
bring
have to
this up.
investigate. No, we need to hear it. Oh, we missed it. Go back.
I think she comes back.
Love is blind.
No, she only does it once.
Love is dangerous.
Wow, yeah.
Love is blind.
Love's blind. So he says that twice.
Love is awesome.
And then that guy. Love is awesome.
It's awesome.
Have you ever seen that documentary Tickled?
No.
You haven't?
No, of course not.
You have to. This isn't you want to see this documentary.
Yeah.
You have to see this documentary.
Okay.
These guys remind me of people that were kind of coerced into being in the. You have to watch Tickled. It's one of the craziest documentaries I've ever seen in my life.
Netflix?
I think it's HBO. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Let me look real quick.
The hand-wringing glee that I'm seeing, I have never seen.
It's insane, and it's one of those where you're like, "There's no fucking way this is real."
I've never seen you push something like this before.
That's what I mean when I say like
and
it's
you
not
were
a you
my-
want to, it's a you have to.
Yeah.
Let's see. Watch options. It is on. Ooh, it is on Pluto, Tubi, Redbox, Vudu, Prime Video. I think it's on Google Prime.
It's called Tickled.
Tickled. I think it's on YouTube Premium, maybe. Tickled
Weird.
documentary. There we go.
A documentary about a
Yeah, here we go.
mysterious tickling
Journalist David
competition.
Ferrier stumbles upon a mysterious tickling competition online. As he delves deeper, he comes up against fierce resistance, but that doesn't stop him getting to the bottom of a story stranger than fiction.
Weird. Well, okay. Well, I'm not sure what I think about this anymore. I thought that this was a definite no for me, dog. But now I don't know.
I don't know. There's kind of like eyes in the feather in the it's almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
looking at
I
me.
cannot stress enough how it just gets
Why does he have a bird on him?
it just gets crazier. That was his own personal bird. That's the journalist. It wasn't weird. He was in his apartment. That's not the weirdest part of the
I
document.
love that
Trust
you
me.
think that wasn't weird. That was weird.
Because no. That's one of the most normal things in the whole goddamn thing.
Can you imagine your boss walking in on you watching these tickle videos?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good. They stay clothed.
Yeah, basically, I feel like I can't tell you anything without spoilers.
Yeah, I want nothing. I want nothing to know.
There's some money with it.
I might want nothing to do with this at all.
No. I'm not kidding.
Okay, listeners, I have to describe to you how visibly and immediately
have to watch
how
this.
immediately visibly agitated Zampino became when I just said I didn't want to watch it at all. Like the sentence wasn't even over, and
Because it was that you said you want to. I'm like, no, you don't want to. You have to. There's a difference. It's so fucking. It's
I can't tell
so funny,
if
but
the
not
way
funny.
you are acting makes me guaranteed that I need to watch this movie because you've never reacted like this before, or my resolve may be stronger than ever. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, you're going to watch it, right? And you're going to report back.
I mean, there are some very good-looking men getting tickled here.
Yeah,
that's part of the whole thing. That's part of the whole thing is when it's revealed why these things are being made.
But I can't tell if that. I'm so concerned about your
Is
reaction.
it a mockumentary or is it
No,
real?
it is
oh my
100%
God.
real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stephen Fry, huh?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Oh, and now we're back to that. Also, this man has not earned his gray sweatpants. I'm just going to point that out.
Well, and in classic Tommy Wiseau fashion, he did not make them take stuff out of their pockets for the shoot.
But yeah, so Tommy Wiseau. And I think that was fun because, Rick, you weren't familiar with The Room. So what did you think of that going in blind to the Tommy Wiseau phenomena?
I was expecting like the Meg.
Yeah.
When you told me, because I enjoyed the Meg. But,
The Meg was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
The Meg was a so bad it's good movie.
Yes. So I don't know. I was expecting for like I said earlier, I thought it was going to be some dude's nickname who was a boxer and he's like, oh, he's the big shark, you know. But I don't know. I was interested. I mean, my family doesn't go to the movies anymore except like Circle Cinema because honestly, it was like I'd rather, you know, you know what Ryanair is in Europe, right? The like Spirit Airlines, but they like duct tape the seats together and stuff.
Jesus. Wow.
So the last time we went to AMC to go see Plane, we were like, this is probably going to be the last time we're going to the movies for a while. So, but I it would be something I would watch at home.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and this article from Variety says it's a real movie. So
It does.
it's got listings of debut screenings. So
I wonder why he has to extend the copyright out. It's like, does he keep putting it off or what's going on here? Is there some kind of legal reason?
Oh, knowing what I know of Tommy Wiseau is he probably had to get multiple copyrights because of how long it took him to finish the film.
It's true, especially considering this is the first one he's done since The Room, and The Room came out originally in what, like 01? Like that's an old movie at this point. You
It's
know?
now a classic.
Yeah.
It's on Turner Classic Movies. Right next to Kindergarten Cop.
We don't see enough Kindergarten Cop remakes in this life.
Oh, yes, we have.
They
They've remade it, and they didn't need to.
they remade Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah,
Oh.
of course they did.
No, they didn't.
Swear to God. There's also
Who
a
was in
shitty
it?
sequel. I think there's been a sequel and a reboot.
Kindergarten Cop 2. No. Oh, 2016.
No, I just see the
Dolph
Dolph Lundgren
Lundgren.
sequel. Is there going to be a Kindergarten Cop 3? The Final Class, a.k.a. Kindergarten Cop 3.
Oh my God. He's coming
Oh, and
back.
it's got both of them. John Kimball and Zach Reed start teaching at the same. Jesus Christ.
But also
To see who can be the better teacher.
I don't know. This is Oklahoma. I kind of want to see him step down and do pre-K cop.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole different, ball game.
I want to see him run for school board cop.
CRT cop.
Dude, I got to talk to you guys real quick about something that happened last night. There was so I was out at Tulsa Ballet doing my balleting as I do. And,
Dancing the night away.
Dancing, being the star of Tulsa Ballet, as
Correct.
many of you know I can. If you've heard my voices, my accents, my dancing is just as good.
If not better.
If not better. It was a quiet moment. The show had already started. There was really no work to be done. Out front, outside on the Tulsa PAC, on the sidewalk, I see a man carrying a sign for a candidate for school board, for Tulsa Public School school board named Boswell, John or something, Steve, Bill, whatever first name, Boswell. And I see people walking past the man holding the sign. No one's engaging him. I have questions. So I go out there and I'm like, hey. And he's like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, well, first off, are you Boswell? And he goes, no, I'm not Boswell. I'm just a volunteer who I believe in his message. And I go, okay, well.
I'm a conduit.
I'm like, can you tell me about Boswell's platform and what does he believe? Why should I vote for him? And he immediately starts in about Deborah Gist, who has been the superintendent of instruction for Tulsa Public Schools, and how she is just ruining the district. And I go, okay. This is very abstract about a person. And I'm like, that's, if we're going to go abstract, I'm like, let's just go ahead and sum this up real quick. So I go, okay, let's just do a couple quick questions. I go, what would Mr. Boswell say about the recent movement involving the word woke? And he goes, oh, we are flat out against it. I go, okay, I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
And I go, and he starts immediately talking to me about how, the school board, and he goes right back to Deborah Gist and how the school board is centered around Gist as some kind of like, and they're supposed to be in charge of her or whatever. And I'm like, I don't really care about school board politics, about the structure of it or whatever. I go, let's just do another question. I go, because I think I pretty much know everything I need to know, but I just want to check. I go, what would you or Mr. Boswell say if I asked you about critical race theory? And of course, the answer for that should largely be that it's irrelevant because in terms of what Tulsa Public School does, they're not going to get into the depths of critical race theory.
Nobody does because it's only taught in college.
Yeah, well, and I mean, there's ancillary stuff that might come up,
but that's not the same thing, though.
Exactly.
That's the problem is that they're trying to purposefully lump things in and call it CRT when CRT is strictly a theory in law school.
But how he reacted to that was going to be a real big check for me in terms of like A, what he understood about the concept, and B, how much he was subscribing to just dog whistles. So he immediately starts talking about the people of color on the current school board. And I'm like, well, what is that? I'm like, no, I want to know about curriculum. What are your thoughts on racially motivated or racially charged curriculum?
He's like, we found a black lady who thinks CRT is bad. So it is.
It was very much like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. I'm like, okay.
We found a local Candace Owens, and she's terrible.
Yeah.
And she thinks this critical race theory is bad. And because she's black and saying it's bad, it has to be bad.
And it was just such an easy way to like, I just go, I cut him off. I'm like, honestly, I think I already know everything I need to know about you and Boswell. And I just want you to know that Boswell will in no way have my vote.
Yeah. You've secured an enthusiastic vote for his opponent.
Yeah.
Good job.
And it was really funny because all he had to do on either one of those to keep me involved and I'm a left-leaning voter. I mean, that's no secret by this point, but all he had to do was to not immediately shut them down or find excuses to deviate the conversation. If he would have even said something like, well, that's a complicated issue, I would have still been listening.
Sure.
But it was so easy to just get him to like, rawr, and I was like,
those arguments are never about substance. It's always just
the nuance. And I don't know, maybe I chose two overly hot buzzwords. I could see where maybe I accidentally triggered him without realizing it, but
you fucked up your Tucker Carlson Mad Lib and it really threw a wrench in his gears.
Right. I don't know. And I mean, maybe that's just how bad the dialogue has gotten in a lot of examples.
I was waiting for you to ask about sexually charged books.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Which Dr. Seuss book makes you the horniest?
I mean, let's face it, because I've been covering this issue for work. Kids don't need books today. They have tablets, phones, and that stuff is not going to read it to them. It's going to just flat out show them the sex.
Yeah, 100%.
And I've got friends who are public school teachers across the state, and they're just like, what the heck? We're not doing anything. I blame, yes, there were a couple of books out there that were flat out porn.
Oh, sure.
But I don't blame a teacher. I don't blame even an administrator. What I blame is an overly zealous bookseller who probably was like, hey guys, we've got an equality pack on sale, 25% off, buy it now. And they didn't look through the book.
Yeah.
Well,
and we got to remember that the fight for understanding, recognition, acceptance is very different here in Oklahoma than it is in cities on the coast. And because of that, there may be media that can further the fight differently in different parts of the country. So that bookseller may be able to sell something that's a little bit more graphic to a say a high school audience in California than they would to a middle school group in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
What we have gotten wrong in this country when it comes to the sex in the books in the schools, and it's both the left and the right, is we are confusing sexual orientation with fetish.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
well, we're also just confusing sexual orientation with being sexualized. in and of itself. Like the idea of discussing a same-sex couple existing being sexualized when you're just describing two people existing in a relationship. There's nothing overtly sexual about mentioning their existence.
And we even have we have people across this country making laws who do not realize that heterosexuality is a sexual orientation.
Thank you. It sure is.
And so they're like, we don't want to talk about, boys versus girls. And I'm like, well, you got to at least eventually point them to the right bathroom.
Well, and I think it was in Missouri where
gay Republican asked about Martha Washington. Yes.
How are you going to teach about Martha Washington when she was
George
basically
Washington's
nothing
wife.
but George Washington's wife?
Yeah.
It's
That's a sexual orientation.
we're having these such knee-jerk reactions, and it's just like, really, I'm not a parent. I know you are, but we just covering Oklahoma for so long. We have three types of parents, and we have the ones who will 100% show up for everything in the classroom. You've got the working parents who will do whatever they can, and then you've got the third who are simply like, thanks for coming out the womb. I'll support you and feed you, but you're on your own. Mm-hmm. And we act like everybody is in that first class of parents who don't have to work, can always be, and it's just not realistic.
Yeah, it's not real at all.
Sure.
And so we're forgetting about, we have working families, and we're forgetting that we have the internet for these kids, and these kids are so tech savvy.
For sure.
Even on the foster kids, I'm trying to put parental controls on it, and they're just building a whole separate account.
Yep.
And so it's
Oh man, if I would I just know that even back when I was a kid, when we didn't have the internet, like if you banned a book, that was just a guarantee that I was going to go fucking
for
find
sure.
it.
I have a whole shelf full of banned gay books.
And so now you've got you ban a book and they don't have to go to Walden Books or wherever.
No.
They get it instantly. Like you ban that book and they're like, well, let me Google this right the fuck now.
I remember having a conversation with a pastor before I came out of the closet and was hiding in the church, and he was talking about pornography today, and this was back in the George W. Bush administration, and he was just like, you kids have it so easy. And he was like, I remember when I was your age, we'd be hiding out behind the hotel, hoping some businessman threw out his nudie mag, we thought we scored. The discussions we are having today about these books fails to take into account the
accessibility.
internet.
Just the accessibility of everything.
So often lately, I feel like a lot of
You think they haven't seen shit way more graphic already?
Oh yeah. Oh no, the book says the word queer in it.
Yeah. Clutch my pearls. It's so silly. Yeah.
The thing about it is, so much of legislation, it feels like lately, maybe forever, has been the pandering to acknowledging the irrational fears of the most ignorant.
Well,
The idea that a book in the library is going to be what makes some negative change to a kid is the idea of someone that is so detached from reality and is so ignorant of the breadth of available media to these kids, never mind the breadth of that kid's experience growing up.
Well, can I just tell you, like, in my opinion, you are 100% right. But in my humble opinion, I think that there's a deeper strategy behind that, in that I think that the Republican Party has come to terms with the fact that when it comes down to the actual policies that they are bringing forward, 99% of everything that they bring forward is deeply unpopular to the American people as a whole, especially working people, lower class people. Most Republican policies benefit a very specific and small group of people. So in order to sort of distract from the fact that the policies that the Republican base are going to be voting for are going to be doing things to actively keep them in their sort of cycle of poverty, then you distract them with the culture war. You say, we have to fight against this. This is what you're voting for, because you can't win on, this is what I want to do. I want to funnel all the money up to the 1% and give give more corporate tax breaks and deregulate and, deregulate the banks and deregulate the oil industry and deregulate the train industry and all of these things that they've been doing for decades.
Yeah.
And you can only do that if the thing that you're giving them, they're going to not want. If you tell them this is what we're going to do, you have to distract them with something else.
Let me say this as the registered Republican in the room, and I know that's a shock.
Not to me. I know you.
It's as the gay man who does vote Republican sometimes. It is that oh God, I'm gonna get so much trouble for what I do for work, but I'm very frustrated with Trump had the gay cabinet member even before Buttigieg. And the gay conservatives were suing and successfully getting Don't Ask, Don't Tell repealed. So I get disappointed sometimes that we are forgetting that sexual orientation is not a socialist or a capitalist concept.
No.
And unfortunately, I'm like, look, let's be blunt honest here. My marriage, you have a Latino gay man who looks mostly white, and you have married to a white man. The income inequality isn't there. We will benefit from these policies that conservatives push. So I get so frustrated that people automatically, put the gay issues on the left and we must not vote this way on the right. And it's just like, sex has nothing to do with your money.
I miss the days of I miss the days of policy debate.
Yeah.
I literally I can't tell you how much I miss hearing and that's one of the things that frustrates me most about the modern Republican Party, especially, is that so much of it is what you're against and not what you're for. What are you for? What policies are you bringing forward to help the majority of the population? So and even a lot of Democrats are getting further and further away from running on policy. And some still can, because you can run on infrastructure, which Biden did run on policy for the most part. And I think that's helped. He obviously had to fight against Donald Trump's culture war, but he was doing a lot of it with policy.
That is one thing I never understood about. Yes, they had Rick Grinnell, the cabinet secretary, but it was well, we acknowledge around the world that you shouldn't die for being gay. Yeah, but that's where it stopped.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that we find is so telling. And going back to the idea of the most ignorant members of the populace who are often pandered to, like I found. One of the big arguments against the drag brunches and drag events that can be attended by kids is there's these photos of a drag event showing scantily clad performers in a room showing parents and babies. Mm-hmm. I can't speak to every photo that looks like that, but the one that I've seen the most prominently, the two photos I've seen the most prominently, are from a very specific drag event that happened in the UK. And it was designed for brand new moms, like i.e. having newborns or very young babies. And this drag event was for these moms to attend as something to get out of the house, have a little fun, see something kind of cheeky. And since they were...
Pun intended.
Right? And since these were very young babies, i.e. like you're not really grooming an infant,
Oh,
like,
you mean an infant that's not capable of making memories?
I guess, yeah. And I don't know anything about this science, so please, listeners, forgive me if I get in the weeds here. But apparently that's the thing, is that these babies, they can't be negatively impacted by seeing a boob or something like that. Obviously,
well, they're eating from them.
That's lunch, right?
Yeah.
But so that's the event. And listen, maybe some people disagree. I met someone on Facebook the other day who does disagree and feels that that's even inappropriate for babies. That's fine. You're allowed to have opinions.
You're allowed to be wrong.
But in the end, these parents weren't surprised by drag. No one showed up at their home and said, you're going to let RuPaul in.
Yeah.
These parents chose to come to this event, chose to bring their babies.
Right.
And in the end, we all agree that parents can decide what's best for their kids.
And listen,
outside of harm. But real quick, so But this got shared on a Facebook post of a friend, and I pointed that out. And they immediately were like, well, you're saying it's okay. I'm like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that these parents were invited to bring their allegedly non-memory forming babies to this drag event that they were the ones in charge of. And you agree that parents can do what they want. And he agreed with all that. And I was even like, listen, man, I'm not trying to make you love drag. I'm just saying your example's bullshit.
Yes.
And he came back with, I actually like drag, which good for him. Drag's great. And here's my end. I'm sorry for the long rant here. But he immediately goes, but I don't like any event that would allow someone who wants to prey on children to prey on children.
That was his.
And that was the secret sauce right there. In the end, he still had a lingering idea that drag performers and likely just gay men in general are somehow a threat, are somehow predominantly a threat, even though he was sugaring it just in case it happens. When we know, by and large, our community has almost very rarely been the source of this threat.
Listen, if it's a just in case, you better shut every fucking church down tomorrow, motherfucker.
That's the thing.
If your argument is that it's just in case and you are not trying to shut down the Catholic Church, then your argument is bullshit.
I can think of a single drag performer criminal situation in my entire life, and it was not a good situation, but I can think of several religious leaders.
Oh, yeah.
I can think of several school personnel.
Several politicians. Yeah.
You know, I go back to that meme going around about how To Catch a Predator caught a whole lot of predators, very few of them members of the LGBTQ community.
Uh-huh. Yup.
I don't know if you saw the image that was going around the Capitol about the drag queen bills was a drag queen in Austin, and she had D-cup paper mache boobs, and they were exposed. They were not covered up.
Okay.
And that was being labeled for these lawmakers as this is what is happening at Drag Queen Story Hour is a full wreck. And I'm like, guys, this clearly is from an exotic show.
And that's the other thing too, is they're making a false equivalence of like drag shows where there's dancing or even possibly striptease involved, and Drag Queen Story Hour.
Yeah.
Like in a Drag Queen Story Hour, they're not singing and dancing. They're not,
You are the father of a girl. Have you painted your nails to be with her? And yeah. But
before I got my tattoo finished, I used to let her color it in all the time.
Girl dads dress up and dress. You telling me if there's something wrong with him reading a
now
in a
that's
dress?
me, I'm sexualizing my own kid. Well, and they often make the argument about like, oh well, they'll show you a drag queen dancing provocatively, and they'll go, look at how sexual this is. It's so sexual, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, you have to remember, number one, it's no more sexual than any cheerleader dance in any NFL halftime show at any point ever. It's probably less sexual because they have more clothes on. The drag queens usually have a lot more clothes on. Yeah. But the other thing is, and this is the other thing that's important to remember, is that we have hard science on when human beings start to develop memories. So the infant thing, we know that that a newborn cannot make memories. We know that. But also, children do not see a person dancing as sexual until you tell them it's sexual. Yeah. They're not capable of that until you put it in their head. Yeah. So if you're the one projecting that onto the children, they just see somebody dancing. With the halftime shows, whenever any Latino woman gets up there and it's all of a sudden too sexual, or
just go to Hooters.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like,
just meanwhile turn on the damn TV.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the cheerleaders are wearing less clothes, doing more sexual dances. Spreading their legs, shaking their butts, doing all of those things, and that's fine, and that's in no way sexualized or overly sexualized for children.
I hosted the two biggest drag events in Oklahoma last year, the Nude Art Show and the Queen's Drag Show at Kane's Ballroom. And in both cases, the there were plenty of sexualized performances. Some of them were hot as hell. Mm-hmm. But
but licking your lips to my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. No, that's even some people think that's too
Exactly. Which that in itself, that is the kind of sexuality that if you don't know to make that connection, you don't make that connection.
Yeah,
you just
you're
think
putting it on
licking
there.
lips while a song is playing. We know that there's a link there.
A child goes, yeah, milkshakes are yummy. I would lick my lips too.
I would also like a real milkshake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boys, less so.
But they're like, they want to come to my yard because they want my tasty milkshake because it's delicious and made of ice cream.
Well, just to give a shout out to a well-known performer here in Oklahoma, Josie Lee Terrell is a performer I've had the pleasure of sharing the stage with many, many times. Adore Josie. And Josie can do sexual drag. But I think it was at Queen's Drag Show. It might have been at Cane's. I don't know if I'm getting it mixed up. But her and Sasha and I believe Porcelain Terrell was involved as well. They did a Hocus Pocus themed drag performance. It was not sexy. It was fun and exciting and great to watch. And there was playful, sexy elements because those girls know how to do that. But this was more about camp and cheese and silliness than anything. And so at a show that I would never have let a kid into, these were 21 and up shows at the Cane's Ballroom, that was absolutely a performance that a kid could see.
100%.
You know, and that's the biggest thing to me is you see this one corner of something and fail to see that it's so much big. It's like watching Andrew Dice Clay and thinking
That's
comedy is
yeah.
not for kids.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
comedy.
Meanwhile, you've got people like our own Nicole Miller here in town who has made an entire career on her own out of doing family-friendly comedy.
I was a little kid watching Louis Anderson and Howie Mandel and some of those early comics that were on network television because it was like family friendly. Like Howie Mandel was a pretty clean comic for the most part.
Yeah, Louis Anderson too.
Yeah, Louis Anderson quite clean.
And then you find out later, Bob Saget. Holy crap!
Yeah. Should we pick some plugs?
Yeah, let's pick and plug it.
Okay.
I'll go first. Always got to talk about the Starlight Comedy Night, the second Friday of every month. I've almost got the third one locked down, you guys, but you are so going to want to come out to the show. And
We're currently in contract negotiations.
we are in contract negotiations with one of our comics. You're going to be so glad to see him, though. But in the meantime, I definitely have Lacey Rains locked down. She is hilarious. We are so glad to welcome her to the Starlight stage for the first time. And then we are super hyped to bring back Wade McFarland.
Sometimes I forget I have it.
One of Tulsa's best. Glad to have him back. And of course, tune in for all of my other podcasts. I've got way too many to talk about. The Office podcast, the People Persons Paper podcast. We just hit 92 episodes. Have a Fox 23 friend here today with us. I just had a former Fox 23 friend on P4. Alyssa Steen was on the show.
I love her. I
do
hope she's
too.
doing well.
She seems to be doing well. She is another one who has survived getting away from Fox while you continue to thrive at Fox. So
Hey, I know, paychecks.
you're doing good. You're doing good work. I do miss working with you, and I do miss working with her, but I was glad to sit down with her. And then, of course, more shows to talk about. We do OK Geek every week. We check in on the latest comics and video game news just to geek it up so I don't have to bore Mike with all that stuff. And
Don't fucking call me Mike.
and then if you want to hear a septuagenarian tell stories from the old times, my mother has got her own show, Stories with Mom. Every week we're hearing all the weird, wacky, and wild shenanigans that she had growing up. So yeah, OLA Ministries is killing it. Come listen to our shows.
Pick.
Oh man, what are we going to talk about? Did I talk about the new Superman book by DC?
Probably.
It's good. It's good. It's real good. They just relaunched with a brand new #1.
Yeah, I think we have.
It's colorful. It's great adventures. I don't know. Well, listen to my damn podcast.
There you go. There you go.
Rick, I hear you're on television.
I believe so.
Yeah.
You know, but whenever NASCAR and football's done with, you know, that's the problem with these weekend shows. Is Fox has decided to be this. Well, I didn't say it. I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's really actually that's how we get our money. But
Yeah.
you know, we get all these sporting events, and my mom's like texting me, "When are you coming on?" And I'm just like, "Whenever NASCAR's over with." They just crashed again, and I'm like, "Well, you can watch me at 1 a.m., Mom." She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"I gotta go to church."
Mom, we are at the whim of NASCAR and the NFL.
But Saturdays, technically at 5 and 9, and then Sundays at 5, 9, and 10,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I see you anchoring. And then,
Yes.
And then reporting Monday
through Friday, I'm on the Capitol. So
nice.
Yeah, it's but yeah, that's my world.
Love it. Any picks?
It's where I celebrate somebody, right?
Yeah.
Or just anything you've been into?
Yeah, no, so I really like this British guy, Coxie Official. He's on Facebook Reels.
Okay.
And he brings up like COXY.official. and he brings up these songs and he sings them. Yeah, you hear the music, but you see the lyrics he mishears, and so I laugh my ass off with this guy. He started off by making Adele. He was like, "What if Adele's backup singer forgets the songs to Rolling in the Deep?" And she's like, 1,000 queer sheep, never had bare feet, pigeon carnivore rolling in the deep.
Yeah.
So this guy keeps me up. I've stayed up till like 2 a.m. laughing at this guy. And then there's another guy, Jason Gaston.
Okay.
And he does dramatic reading of weird signs. And it's just like there.
I've seen that.
He did a whole one about people misspelling cologne and reading it as colon.
Oh,
and,
sure. That's a good one.
I cannot stand the smell of my coworkers' colon.
Admittedly, that's why I have an oil diffuser.
those. I'll plug those guys.
Cool.
They're just getting started, and I think they're hilarious.
Nice. April 7th, come see me at Heirloom Rustic Ales for the Riff Show. And Hilton will be on that show as well.
I won't. I won't. Actually, I did confirm I'm not on that show. But just like last week, I got to bring up mine again. I keep forgetting about this damn show. Brett's going to kill me. April 5th, I'm at Starlight for Brett's impromptu show. We've got several comics on the book, including, I think, not Dan Harmon. He's the Rick and Morty guy.
And the
another
Community.
Dan Alton. Dan Alton's in town.
Okay, great.
Sharon stayed with Dan Alton and some others on Starlight April 5th. But then after the April 5th, go to Mike's show.
Yeah, and then, don't fucking call me Mike. And then April 20th, come see us at the Sesh Lounge for the Dab Show. We're going to do dabs in the middle of our act, and it's going to be fun. And then, of course, listen to Maximum News if you want to hear me rant and rave about politics. And a pick for this week. So Bob Odenkirk was on Hot Ones this week. And at the end of it, he has a book coming out in October that I'm already going to pre-order for Eleanor. It's the sweetest thing. So when his daughters were little, he said that they would write silly poems together for fun. And he kept all of them. And now as an adult, one of his daughters is a really great illustrator. And she took a lot of them and made illustrations with them. And they put it together for a book. And it's called Zillet and Other Important Rhymes. And it comes out in October. And just the concept of writing a book with your kids, or writing stuff with your kids that you then publish later. It's so sweet to me, and it's such an awesome idea. And I love that. And I love everything Bob Odenkirk does. He's just amazing. So if you don't have kids and you don't want to go buy a kid book, go watch Mr. Show.
That's a great Hot Ones, too.
It was a really good episode of Hot Ones, too. Bob Odenkirk's just amazing.
I've never watched that video before, that YouTube
show?
series before. And
have you ever watched it? Mm-mm. So the concept is there's an interviewer. His name is Sean Evans. He secretly does these great, fantastic interviews, but while they're doing them, he and the person being interviewed eat a series of chicken wings with hotter and hotter hot sauce.
Yeah.
So there's 12 wings and there's 10 wings and there's 10 different sauces, and they just continuously get hotter. And he continues to ask them questions, and it's super, super interesting to watch.
Yeah,
both
really
people's reactions. And like I said, he's a legitimately good interviewer. He always comes with at least a question that they'll go, "Oh wow, that was a really good, really good question."
Bob came off great. I've never watched the show before. It was neat. Bob, first off, he is a beast when it comes to eating hot sauce.
Yeah, he really took it well.
He verbally he would complain or whatever, but no sign. And I would have been red as a beet, and sweat pouring down my face.
I wonder if afterward he's running to the toilet.
Right?
I'd be very, very much complaining.
He referenced his asshole plenty. Yeah. He was very conscious of the damage he would do later. But no, that was a cool show.
Yeah, my favorite thing he said, and Ryan sent it in our group chat too. My favorite quote was he said, "Comedy is finding the things that you hate about people and having fun with that."
Yeah. That explains every season of Mr. Show.
Exactly. And if you've never seen Mr. Show, it's on HBO. Go watch it. They did a few newer episodes on Netflix a couple years back. Mr. Show is such an underrated sketch comedy show. He brought up the Hunger Strike sketch. Yeah. Where David Cross plays a character who's This guy's been on like a hunger strike for 40 days, and he has a press conference, and he's supposed to be talking about his people and why he's doing the hunger strike, but all he can talk about is food. And how he talked about how like it's a sketch that a lot of people just hate and they don't think it's funny. He said, but it's like his favorite one. He thinks it's the funniest thing. It's just he can't stop talking about food. Anyways, yeah, go watch that. Come see us at the shows. Come see us at the Sesh Lounge. Come see me at Riff Show. Come see Hilton at Starlight.
Watch Fox 23.
Watch Fox 23 on the weekends and the weeknights.
Yeah.
For Rick Maranon and the crew and everybody else, you'll be lucky if I ever speak to you again.
Take it from me. I love you.